Let us start with what is going on in South Africa. Police minister says Trump twisted facts to push baseless genocide claims. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, oh, is it because of the documentation he had in his hands? Yeah, I don't know what he was
These
doing
are articles
there.
over the last few days. Death of people.
Apparently he's got
Death.
cases.
Death. You do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take
Apparently he brought stuff from their news media outlets
They
or
kill the
some
white
shit.
farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No.
Minister of Police, together with top management, we have respect for the United States of America as a country. We have respect for the people of the United States, and we have respect for the President of the United States, President Donald Trump. But we have no respect for his genocide story whatsoever. It is totally unfounded.
There we go.
And totally unsubstantiated. The incident sparked a very strong protest by the farming community in the area. The crosses symbolized killings on farms over years. They are not graves. They don't represent graves. And it was unfortunate that those facts got twisted to fit a false narrative about crime in South Africa.
I don't know. Well, I mean, there are crimes happening in South Africa. What do you mean? Can't just say Trump didn't. Well, I don't know what kind of information, fucking news stuff he showed you. So. What was this? This was the Associated Press. I mean, the Associated Press does report the news, but there's sometimes bias depending on who's doing the broadcasting. Usually if it's just them like not saying anything, it's fine, but then when they have one of their journalists come in, he is like, yeah. Let's see what's going on here. Shootings in Seattle over Memorial Day weekend.
Shaping up to be a violent holiday weekend in Seattle after several shootings across the city. Fox 13's Nikki Torres live in the Soto neighborhood with more information on the latest one there. Nikki, what do you know?
Good old Seattle.
Taylor, good morning. This is now the third shooting that we are talking about during this Memorial Day weekend, and they all happened in South Seattle. This time it is in the Soto neighborhood. Now, according to SPD, this one happened right around 10 o'clock from last night. That is when investigators say that someone shot a 23-year-old man in his upper thigh.
All that food.
This is the 2400 block on 4th Avenue South. We are less than 1 mile away from T-Mobile Park. Police say someone shot the man during a lowrider car show. Officers were able to stop the bleeding and crews then rushed the victim to Harborview Medical Center in serious condition. At last check, he is stable. Investigators say they have not found any evidence or leads on a suspect, and what led up to this shooting is still under investigation. This shooting happened one night after Friday's violent evening in the city. At around 10 p.m. Friday, someone shot a 16-year-old boy in the abdomen at Seward Park. That boy is stable at Harborview Medical Center at last check. The second shooting Friday night, this happened a couple hours later around midnight, and this time it happened in a Rainier Beach neighborhood. SPD says 2 friends were shot during an attempted robbery. This was a woman and a man. Police say someone shot the man in the leg and the woman had a bullet grazed to her arm. SPD says the victims were inside of a car when the suspect came up to them demanding money. Investigators say the suspect then pistol whipped the woman and fired at least least one shot. Crews rushed the man to Harborview Medical Center. The woman told crews that she did not want medical services. Now, police have not arrested anyone in either of these three shootings. If you have any information, however, that could help them with this investigation, call 911. We're live in Seattle. I'm Nikki Torres, Fox 13 News. Back to you in studio.
The other guy took a bullet, though. Oof. Series of Russian airstrikes hit multiple settlements in Ukraine. Seem to be documenting stuff. Looks like that's a evidence bag. Oh, that's a house that was on fire. Smoldering. Is it a bad time to angry scav it? Alright, give me it. I'm sorry. Well, it looks like they're just cleaning up, right? Uncovering the rubble and shit, seeing what's fucked up. Seeing if there's any evidence that they can, right, get out of the debris. Right, anything that, basically, parts of missiles and stuff, right? But yeah, there you go, New York Post. Sorry, I had to. Deadly missile drone attacks hit Kiev for the second night. Alright, and this was 14 hours ago. This was in the morning, or, well, last night, apparently. Literally. You can literally hear a fucking drone striking. Literally hear it. Oh, my nose itches. Man, that dude's got to be careful. He's touching it with his bare hands and shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, don't do what this guy is doing. Never touch shit with your bare hands like that. Especially when a fucking missile just exploded. You don't know what kind of fucking shit is in there. Don't know what kind of chemicals that could be around, right? You don't know shit. Don't have some gloves on or something. Also, just to make sure you don't get yourself cut. Especially when dealing with a bunch of rubble and unknown fucking, right, debris. And dangerous to go sticking your hand into that shit.
New tonight,
And
an
known as
Italian
Crypto
tourist
King of
who says
Kentucky
he was
arrested
held
for
captive
alleged
and
kidnap,
tortured
torture of
over
man in New
cryptocurrency
York City.
is now
Oh,
safe,
shit.
and a Kentucky man now behind bars. 37-year-old Josh Woolitz is accused of torturing that man for several
I would say
weeks
the
and is now facing a long
some
list
of the
of charges.
teachers in
Police say
fucking
the
Buffalo
victim and
are doing
Woolitz
some
are
shady shit
business
just like
partners,
this.
and the relationship had recently gone sour. Woolitz now accused of taking the victim's passport and electronic devices and then demanding the victim's Bitcoin password. After the victim refused, police say that's when that torture began. Eventually, he was able to escape. Police found him covered in cuts and bruises with marks on his wrists from being tied up. Neighbors say they were left shocked.
I was so amazed. There was so much commotion on this block. It's always been quiet. And then I saw the police officers.
Woolitz, who is known to some as the, quote, Crypto King of Kentucky, has worked with the state of Kentucky as part of a panel to advance the state's use of cryptocurrency.
Taken
Woolitz now
out.
being held without bond.
Oh yeah. We're sorry. We're sorry. Oh, is it the Hassan? We'll watch that later. What's this? This is more of the drone strike.
В якому будинку?
Росіяни масово атакували Миколаїв шахедами вночі. Один з них влучив п'ятиповерховий житловий будинок. Сталося руйнування на двох поверхах, п'ятого, четвертого. Ще зруйнована квартира на цих поверхах. Інші суттєво пошкоджені. Внаслідок ворожої атаки постраждало 5 людей. Один з них підліток. Загинув чоловік, якого деблокували з-під завалів рятувальників. Також автодрабинами рятувальників евакуювали з верхніх поверхів, які суттєво пошкоджені, 2 жінок. Одна з них знаходиться в важкому стані в лікарні. Триває розбір завалів.
Stop showing me that. That's dangerous. Alright. There you have it. As you can see, people are a little bit upset, right? And then someone said fucking Trump said. Or you said day one, Trump. Yeah, and then someone said, yeah, here's your ceasefire. Yeah, yeah, it doesn't look too good right now. Not looking good. Let's see, we got memes of the week. See what's going on here.
Welcome to another
See what kind of
episode of
news
Memes of the
stuff
Week.
we got
The
going.
best thing you can do for this channel is smash the like button the way that female high school teachers smash their students, so this video reaches a wider audience. And now on with the news. Number 1, when the all-woman Blue Origin flight happened last month, it was a historic occasion. It was the first time ever that someone was able to get 6 women ready to leave on time. We've officially entered the age of space influencers. Also, I'm hearing rumors that the engineers are still repairing the spaceship because the check engine light was on and the oil was low. Doesn't this picture just scream Bezos Space Angels to you?
Now.
Up next, Carmelo Anthony ended another student and got $500,000 in donations for his legal defense fund. But when he was released on bail, what did his family do with the money? They rented out a house in a gated community and bought a new car.
These are all just allegations. We don't know.
And the perpetrators could potentially collect millions of dollars after ending someone. Funny how a black family moved into an all-white neighborhood to escape the violence in their own community, even though they were the ones causing.
He did say he did it from his own mouth when the cops told him when the cops started investigating him and got to him.
It themselves.
Oh.
Number 3, he said
this
woman acts like a kinky puppy.
He
and
said
makes
it.
10 grand a month on Lonely Fools. That
Also,
is
who
until
just
AI
brings a
replaces her.
fucking knife
It's
to a
probably going
goddamn
to
school
happen
like
within
that?
2 or 3 years. There's just way too much money out there from pay piggies for it not to happen that fast. And women say that men have privileges over women.
Ah, yes.
I don't know about
Wasn't
you,
there
but I'm not
another
privileged enough to make 6
OnlyFans model
figures
that just
pretending
got
to be a
caught
good
up in
boy.
some shit?
Moving on,
not
life
too
is a
long
joke.
ago?
Here's a difference between a Swedish prison sentence and a £2,000 a month flat in
This
London. It's
another
the same
chick
in much
got
of the Western
Annie
world.
Knight is
The
her
only
name?
difference between a worker and a
Fuck.
prisoner these days is that a worker gets a tiny car and gets to go on vacation once a year. Andrew Tate recently said that he would rather spend 6 months a year in prison instead of being a wage slave. At least in prison, you can hang out with your boys as well as work outs. Number 5, check out the new wannabe gangster action figure, complete with Trump derangement syndrome control book, testosterone replacement pills, and platform shoes to make him feel better about his shrinking height. Those shoes are priceless and make him look like a big boy. On the bright side, at least he's working on his derangement syndrome. Here's De Niro
testosterone supplement. I just saw that.
Up next, leftoids say that we need special laws to protect minorities. But if those minorities happen to be white people in South Africa, then that's not okay. It's all about the double standards, and truth be told, white people are a global minority with around 10%. Thank God for Eastern Europe and Russia not putting up with this sort of nonsense. That's probably going to be the future of the Caucasian race. Those cultures seem way too hard for globalists to actually destroy. Number 7, would you support Robert F. Kennedy banning all the lab-grown meat in the United States? I certainly would, even though I don't agree with him wanting to get rid of GMOs. Not because of making food more healthy, but because healthy food costs a lot more. And that means a lot of starving welfare cases if it happens. Lab-grown meat is also basically cancer cells created from an animal and then grown in a vat. This is what Willie Gates wants you to eat. Moving on, would you date her? Kelly here is 52 and a therapist. But by the looks of her, she's the one that needs therapy herself. Call me crazy, no pun intended, but I don't think that your therapist should look more unhinged than the average person.
You take that up with the government.
She looks like Rosie O'Donnell's younger sister. I don't think any man with self-esteem would ever want to date her. I can smell the cats from here. She also looks like Virtue Signaling's final boss if it was actually a person.
Dude, remember
also,
that
the
one?
line in
Oh, man, there was that
Number
one
9, here's
fucking
Gary Oldman.
video of the dude having so many fucking pets in his goddamn. He had like 151 dogs in his goddamn house and like 11 cats or some shit. The dude was like living the fucking Dalmatian life. I was like, yo, fucking hell,
but we
man.
shouldn't take Oldman seriously because he's been married 5 times now. Up next, what the hell happened to Brian Johnson? A guy spending $1 million a year to reverse aging. Meanwhile, he looks like he's accelerating his aging. That's because he's got a lack of collagen and animal protein in his diets. Apparently, this is what a billionaire vegan looks like. He also looks like he abandoned the ginger community for some reason, even though he says he never dyes his hair. Based on his progression, I think he's going to look like Data by 2030. Number 11, this crooked little building is the oldest tea house in England. I wonder if the Jeets will eventually burn it down because
isn't this
tea is
where
racist,
they
don't you
went
know?
for
They'll probably knock it down and replace it with a statue of Vishnu.
Some
But
of the
let's hope
places
that it
were in
remains there
England
to prove
that
to
they
everyone that
filmed.
there's zero seismic activity in England. If this is in America, they would tear that dump down and replace it with a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. Moving on, here's what it looks like when someone leaves their blow-up doll on an airplane.
That's rude.
You know,
Well,
you've
I mean,
had
you're
way
not
too
wrong.
much plastic surgery when you can't even close your mouth while sleeping. With a shirt that says life goals on it, what do you think her goals are? To have at least 20 plastic surgeries by the age of 20. I'm surprised she can even keep her eyes closed while sleeping.
Right.
Number 13, why does it look like Katy Perry and the other female astronauts look like they were wearing wetsuits going into rockets? Elon Musk saved 2 stranded astronauts and nobody cares. This woman pretends to be an astronaut and everyone thinks it's stunning and brave. If I was going to space, I'd wear a t-shirt and sweatpants. What's the purpose of these suits? I bet she was surprised when she saw the size of this Blue Origin rocket. Up next, apparently women are better at hearing than men are. But it's not about hearing. It's about comprehending. The only reason they're
hearing,
better at
not
hearing us
listening,
is because they store the information in their minds so they can use it against us later. I found that while I was talking, many women I was in relationships with would just zone out. And then I asked them a question about what I was talking about and they started laughing. Because I caught them not paying any attention. But if I didn't pay attention to them, they would blow up at me. Number 15, remember guys, it's better to be single than to date a woman that brings drama and chaos into your life. Obviously. But there are so many thirsty blue-pilled simps out there that they'll welcome the drama and chaos all so they can get laid. In this day and age, I bet that the only women that don't bother men and bring chaos into their lives are ladyboys. But those are dudes in dresses. So basically all women are like that. Moving on, do you guys think that today's woke feminists are just bad copies of these sorts of women from the 2000s?
Buy Space Scene Girl starter pack? Oh, Jesus.
I think that all of us want to go back to 2005 because it was a much better time. I knew a girl
goth,
like this back in the day, and the only thing that's missing with this figure
goth,
is a box cutter that she used to cut herself
feminist.
with. The action figure girl also sort of reminds me of Shoe on Head back in the day. Number 17, what the hell is happening to vending machines in Japan?
Oh shit!
It looks like mass
they
migration
fucking ripped
is
that
destroying
shit.
Japan's
God
high-trust
damn!
soy
It
society.
looks like they took a
Looks
goddamn
like nowhere safe
crowbar
from
to it.
enrichment. If you import the third world, you become the third
Fucking
world.
ripping that shit.
The Japanese are highly intelligent, and it makes me wonder why they haven't learned from the mistakes of Europe and the United States yet. Japan tolerates this as Japanese police chase local men suspected of stealing panties from clotheslines. Up next, blacks used to complain that all the cops
He
needed
knows
to wear
about
body
this.
cams
No.
because they were being racist and hurting blacks.
Oh shit!
It looks like
no.
that backfired, and soon they'll be
Yeah,
pushing
these
to
people
ban body
both
cams
started
because they make
were
them look bad.
unhinged
The
and
body
just
cam shows
attacked
us all
on
what
the
diversity
spot.
really looks
Right?
like in our
They were
society.
they were
This man was
aggressing.
ended by the police,
like,
and so is this woman
immediately.
captured on body cam when
Right,
she
they-
lunged
they-
at a
these
cop
guys
with
were
a
like
jab
cracked
stick.
out or something.
What kind of moron charges an unarmed cop? Number 19, here's the difference between how feminists think that they would run the world versus the way they would actually go. But it's far worse than that. There would be no buildings, no clothes, and all of them would starve. If women ever got rid of men, then
feminists
they would
think
focus
women
their
would run the
attention on
world.
getting rid of each other. It would all end like that
Fucking
female
Barbie
marketing company with no
movies.
men in it. Without men there, they targeted themselves and the company went broke. Moving on, Sarah here is done. Just walk away. She smashed 60 guys
County
in 2
College of
semesters, and now
Morris.
she
I
needs
don't want to
love.
fuck.
I don't think she needs
I fucked
love.
like 60
What she
guys
really
in
needs
2
is an STD
semesters.
test.
I did.
Lady, if you really want love, then get a couple of cats and prepare to die alone. She's probably been more went through in 2 semesters than the Hall and Tunnel.
Damn.
Most women's
She belongs to the
dating profiles and
goddamn
past
street.
experience look exactly like
Holy
this,
shit.
but they just aren't sharing their
What
body
the
count
fuck?
numbers.
Who puts
Number
that as
21,
their
why is it that after
goddamn
thousands of years of
bio?
eating bread, suddenly in only a decade, everyone has allergies to gluten. I stopped eating gluten 10 years ago because of this. Before that, for decades, I'd wolf down bags full of bagels and croissants. And then suddenly in 2015, my throat was so swollen that I wasn't even able to swallow water. It's also probably the GMOs and glyphosate which don't help either. Also, today's wheat has a lot more gluten than historic wheat. Up next, Beth here faked a paternity test and led a man to believe he was the father for 2 years. Here she is walking out of the courtroom a free woman because she's the main caregiver to her daughter. The cuck man feels heartbroken because the girl he thought was his daughter for 2 years is no longer in his life. And yet here she is walking out of the courthouse happily checking her phone nonchalantly.
Yeah.
I really hope he can hit her with a civil case now. Number 23, what the hell is going on out there in the education system?
Yeah, that there's been a lot of instances where a lot of female, right, the women have been fucking lying and using the court system to their advantage, and it's fucking shady. So shady.
Ohio mayor tells the entire school board to resign or face child porn charges because they told students to write an assignment with a sex scene that they weren't supposed to show their mothers.
What the
now
fuck?
It's no longer teachers that are the groomers, but also the entire school board.
What the
In the
fuck?
past, we had to protect our kids from perverted priests, and now you have to protect them from their public educators. Moving on, never get involved with a jealous or possessive
Taylor
woman.
Swift.
This woman is wondering why it took you 15 minutes to get home instead of 12. And she wants to know who the other woman is. God forbid that a guy took a longer, slower route home, or even stopped to get some gas.
I think people found her like years later and was like, yeah, I'm not a crazy person, right? She's just a normal person. It's just the fact that there was a picture of her that looks fucking right like this was just unfortunate.
Maybe he was in his car checking his phone when he parked. But I don't think that's the case because a woman like this would be staring out the window waiting for him to park. What a psycho.
Yeah, she looks like a fucking crazy
Why is
person.
this woman together with Mr. G here? Is it because he has
more
money than her, or is it because she's fat?
Yeah, I
And
was
it's
like,
either him
I
or
was wondering
Siobhan
about this
down
one.
in the hood. To be honest, she's not all that good looking herself. And imagine how she's going to look without all that makeup. Odds are their relationship is fake so that they could con Indian men to come to America with the promise of white bobs and vagine. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it.
Okay.
If you enjoyed this series and want to keep making it, then donate
up.
it to PayPal subscribe to the links below.
Basically
Anyways,
a joke about
enjoy the rest of your
interracial
day,
relationships. And because there's there's a certain demographic of people who dislike it for whatever reason, right? Those people are just fucking crazy. Because there's so many interracial relationships, but then there's just a small group of people who fucking hate it for some reason. Just hate it with their fucking soul. Anyways, memes of the week. What do we got here in the comments section? I was watching a daytime television show in London. The therapist they featured was my friend downstairs, loony neighbor. Never been able to take that term therapist seriously ever since. I feel for the white families. As soon as the murderer moved in, I can only imagine the residents all thinking, damn, there goes the neighborhood. Everybody knows why Blondie is with Game G. Jesus, fuck. Or his personality, of course. What? Yeah. People are brutal on the internet, yeah? Jesus. That thumbnail is atrocious. One is hoping, one is dying. Both are making the world a shittier place. Damn. There's just some haters for Mudahar and his wife for some reason. What is happening? What the fuck set these people off? Holy shit. Do not redeem the card, Mudahar. I don't think he's ever tried to virtue signal or throw out cards and shit. I don't think Mudahar's that type of person, to be honest. He's not that person to try and get into fucking debate disputes or fucking verbal harassment disputes, right? Anyways, if you want to look at more Sandman stuff, cheat with Miss Pig. That's fucked. Jesus Christ. Why are people so mean? Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Man, people are. Yeah, I guess that's how some people feel. Fucking hell. Sandman too.